Could these studio headphones from Adam Audio be a perfect solution for DJs? That is what we are going to answer in this video with an unboxing, a review, and also I'm going to road test these at my DJ gig tonight. Now it is Halloween tonight at the time of filming this video. It's going to be a very busy night, and so these best not let me down. Now, for full transparency and to be open with you, Adam Audio are not sponsoring today's video. However, they did send me out these headphones to test and to make a fully honest review on the channel, which of course you are watching now. I have in fact been a fan of Adam Audio products for a number of years now, and if you've watched any of my previous tutorials on this channel, you may have noticed that I do own a pair of Adam Audio studio monitors. I've had those actually for years. I think they sound great, and I did purchase those with my own money. So just want to be fully transparent with you. But let's crack on with the unboxing. Okay, so here we are with our H200s. Lovely colourful box first and foremost. And as we open that up, we can see, oh, that's not in shot there, that all of the parts are user replaceable. So it's got a modular setup, which is fantastic. A little bit like the HD25s and a lot of other headphones on the market these days. Okay, and then we are presented with the centerpiece, the headphones themselves. If we just get those out, you can see straight away, pretty chunky looking. I'm going to do more of my first impressions in a moment. This is just the unboxing part. I do like the fact that we don't have any cables attached, which gives us a little bit of flexibility in terms of which side we're going to plug the cables in. So that's a good first look. Underneath that, we have not a lot else in the box. And then we have our sort of little box here of other components. So let's open that up. So in here you will find, oh, a nice little carry pouch. So we've got our carry pouch here. Very, very good quality carry pouch. One thing that I will say with a lot of headphones that I have used over the years, if a carry pouch is included, it always feels like an afterthought. They're cheap, they're plasticky. That is absolutely not the case with this one. Branding on point, and it's got a nice soft internal lining there. That is going to protect the headphones well. Drawstring design, very, very impressed with that. Inside of that carry pouch, we have our instruction manual. No one reads those. And then we also have our cable. So you can see here that will plug into, this end will plug into the headphones themselves on either end, as I just showed you. And then we have our jack adapter that has got the 1/4 inch adapter on there, but that is also the screw-on design, much better than the push-pop kind of design there. And then if you're plugging into something like an FLX4, for example, or an FLX2 controller, then you do have the smaller jack adapter underneath there. One thing I will say, and this is just an initial observation, is that is a very long straight cable. I will undo it in a moment. So it would be good to have seen a more coiled design for DJs. Maybe that is something that they do supply separately, but yeah, if you're in the studio, and remember these are primarily studio headphones, right? I think in the studio you're going to be absolutely fine, but as a DJ to have a long straight cable is probably not the most practical, especially if that's going in and out of your DJ bag. A good length to the cable anyways. Anyways, unboxing done. I'm now going to set this up with my DJ equipment and give you my review. So for testing these at home, I'm going to be using two DJ setups. First and foremost, the classic CDJ and mixer combo, and also with my FLX4. I feel like the FLX4 is the more important test out of the two, because when I have used this controller with other headphone manufacturers, I have found myself putting up the volume a considerable way, sometimes even hitting the maximum in order for me to be able to mix. I'm hoping that's not the case with these Adams because the impedance is actually quite low. It's only 32 ohms. Now, without getting too technical, that just means that there is going to be less resistance, so less effort required in order to push power through the headphones. Now, when it comes to sound quality in my home tests, I have found the sound quality to be second to none. They do feature a very wide frequency spectrum on these Adam headphones, in the low end as low as 2 Hertz, right the way up to the high end of 23.5 kilohertz. So a very wide frequency response range. Now, when it comes to DJing, I like a very flat, neutral sound, and I have found in the past other headphone manufacturers in the low end to be very low and rumbly. And certainly in my home tests of these headphones, whilst there is a good bass response, it feels nice and tight. So hopefully that will transpire and come through in the club. Because as I say, with other manufacturers of headphones, where the bass is very low and rumbly, I found that to be quite distracting and therefore quite hard to mix, especially when using the headphones at higher volumes. Now, when it comes to overall volume of the headphones, this is something that certainly did not seem to phase the headphones one bit. I raised the level to the headphones to where it was like borderline uncomfortable to listen to, and the headphones weren't distorting. I boosted all the frequencies and it was plenty loud enough. And may I say, that was on both setups, so the CDJ setup and also the FLX4 setup. I certainly noticed that these go a lot louder on the FLX4 without having to push the volume right up to the maximum like you do on some other headphone models. So when it comes to sound quality and volume, certainly in the home environment that I've been testing them in just now, these get a massive thumbs up from me. I am very excited to take these on the road later on to see how they hold up in the club, and I really hope that they hold up just as well as they did in my home test. So in terms of build quality and durability, these feel very, very chunky. As you can see, big chunky headband there. It's not a split headband like some other manufacturers. Big ear cups, and they feel very durable. Like, I feel like they're going to be quite hard to break. I mean, I've had some cheap headphones snap the band as soon as I kind of move them or stretch them apart, so pretty good. In terms of the size, they have got quite big ear cups. They have got the nice little left and right in the middle, as you can see there. And they do cover the ear in its entirety and offer very good isolation of sound. Like, I can't really hear much of the outside noises coming in. And also as well, they offer the, you can resize them there as well to your comfort, which is good. In terms of the actual pads themselves, these are like memory foam pads, so they shape round the ears. So they do offer a very snug, very comfortable fit. The only thing I would say is the fit feels quite tight. Now, these are brand new, so that will probably ease up over time. But the only thing is, if I was using these for 3, 4, 5 hours at a time, would they start to feel a little bit uncomfortable? Would they start to feel a bit tight? I will be able to comment on that later on because I'll have them on and off all night. But yeah, they do feel quite snug. Now, I do like a snug headphone, but are they a little bit too snug? I don't know yet. I can't comment on that just yet. Yeah, they are quite snug there. They also have this bass porting design here. You can't really see that on camera, but it's like a little grill there that improves the sound quality. In terms of the headband as well, nice sort of squishy headband there. All of these parts are user replaceable. They will offer comfort, but as I say, it's just the snugness that I'm not so sure about. So I'll update you on that when I use them later on. So yeah, overall very good, minimalist design. I do also really appreciate the fact that this cable that plugs into the ear cups is reversible. So you can either plug that into the left or the right. So depending on what ear you're using for monitoring, the cable can stay quite nicely out of the way. And when you actually plug this cable in, it's a little bit fiddly, which is a good thing, I think. It actually locks into place. There's like a little notch on the end and it just locks it into place, meaning it's not that easy to pull it out, which I think is a good thing. So overall, first impressions, I am very, very impressed. As a DJ, I feel like I could definitely use these. That remains to be seen though. It all comes down to the road test tonight. Let's get on over to the club and test these out. It's Halloween, so these better not let me down. So from road testing the Adam H200s, I firmly enjoyed using them, and I must say that I was very impressed. They chuck out a substantial amount of sound, and therefore they are suitable for even the harshest of club environments. In terms of sound response, they offer a very wide yet quite flat frequency response. The bass is a lot more powerful than, say, the likes of Sennheiser HD25s. However, that bass is very tight, crisp and punchy, and not low and rumbly and deep like you get on other headphone manufacturers, which for me is absolutely perfect. I find headphones with too much low rumbly bass quite distracting. However, I do think when it comes to headphones, sound is a very personal choice. And so with any headphone purchase decision, I would encourage you to go out to a retailer and try out a few different pairs before choosing to purchase. And that goes for these or any headphone manufacturer. Now, these offer, as I mentioned in the initial review, a very snug fit. I didn't find that to be a problem. I think it actually assisted with the headphone isolation, that sound isolation. However, I do think this is going to be a little bit too snug perhaps for some people. Obviously, these are still very new. I've used them at 1 gig, and so, you know, will this ease up over time? Probably. However, for now, I will say that these are definitely on the snug side. The one thing I would say, if they want to make an iteration of these more akin to DJs versus studios, is that rotating ear cup. I did find on these headphones that I was reaching to rotate the cup quite a lot. And whilst it's not a problem just to slide one ear cup backwards, yeah, I feel like in a future design, if they wanted to make these specific for DJs, the rotating ear cup would be a nice to have. My only other slight frustration, and I kind of guessed this before the gig, was this long straight cable. It was all tangled up in the bag, and then when I pulled it out, I kept standing on it when I was DJing, and it just yanked on the headphones a bit. So a little bit annoying, but Adam Audio do offer a coiled cable at a very affordable price on their website, suitable for these headphones. So the problem can be very easily avoided for DJs. My only small recommendation to Adam is if they did want to go down the route of promoting these more and more to DJs and producers, so both markets, then maybe what you could do is add a drop-down list to your website, and then you choose which cable you would prefer to have in the box. Just a small idea, but I feel like it's quite a minor problem. So in conclusion, very, very impressed indeed with these headphones. If you are a DJ that's looking for something a little bit different to your typical manufacturers of DJ headphones, or if you're a bit of a hybrid, maybe you do a bit of production and you also do some DJing, then these could be a very solid option for you. Thank you so much to Adam Audio for sending me out these headphones to try out. I will certainly be incorporating these into my DJ sets in the future because I really enjoyed the sound. Please subscribe if you have not done so already. I'm nearly at 15,000 subscribers. Please give this video a thumbs up. Hype it if you can by swiping across and pressing hype, and I'll catch you in the next video.